I think you're just cutting like normal.
So you can start drawing, Henry.
My family are the first makers that I'm trying to build up. They're the greatest thing in terms of making. Like my kids are the greatest thing they'll ever make. They're like the most significant project that I'll ever be a part of, the most significant thing they'll ever build. Their discipleship is my primary concern. Art is meant for God's glory. Art is meant for one another. It's like, it's largely a gift, like it's for gift giving. That's one thing that I'm trying to press on them. So it's like, they'll see me doing that where I'm giving my gifts to them. I'm giving my strength to them. I'm giving my ability to them. So I'm teaching them stuff. I'm learning stuff with them. I want them to make better things that I ever did, which are more enriching than the things that I ever made. And if they want to take up the things that I took up, praise the Lord. And if they want to make new things, I want them to have the tools to be able to do so. They won't have to like wonder what all of this is for. Hopefully they won't run down the lane of I'm doing this for myself and for my glory for nearly as long as I did. But they can have right from the jump. It's like we make things not to just stoke ourselves up, but as a gift to others.
This isn't the design. I know. I need to do it.
I gotta find him. You don't cut towards yourself, right?
I grew up drawing. I grew up making stuff. I can't really remember a time where I wasn't drawing. My parents reinforced it a lot. My mom especially would get me like materials. So she would get me sketchbooks, she would get me pencils, she would get me paint, she would get me like polymer clay. So I would sculpt stuff. I would sculpt little figurines and stuff like that. And this is just all developmental from like the earliest years of grade school on up. The fact that I got to interact with a lot of materials, I wasn't locked in any one lane. So I guess it didn't feel like I was missing out on anything when I would try something new. So I had a lot of latitude to be able to just kind of jump into something new. So once I landed toward printmaking, that was in 10th grade. I had a master printmaker, Steve Prince, was my 10th grade teachers by the grace of God, and for drawing class. And I remember seeing him working on a lino cut that he was doing one day. I was like, what on earth is that? And then he explained the process where, yep, you carve this away, you put ink on it, you stamp it, and that's the piece. And I was just fascinated, but I never had like a point of question of whether that was something that was valid for me to step to. It was just like, given how I was able to like just kind of grab up anything previously, it was just a natural follow through to step to this, especially with like certain considerations. This was in high school. Like I painted a lot in high school, but I wasn't a good painter, in part because I'm colorblind. So like I loved painting people, but I couldn't mix flesh tones or anything. They would always either come out green or like too pinkish. So he was a medium where like it's just black and white. You're working entirely with line. So it was like this twist on my love of drawing, and the way that he loaded things so, symbolically. These are visually like very, very dense images, full of a lot of content, like just a lot of objects, a lot of symbolic references, which is like what I loved to do with the art that I was making at the time. The way that I would go about making was largely reflexive. So like there was two parallel tracks that were moving kind of through my whole young adulthood, where it's like I have this ability that God's given, and that's good, like that's an actual gift. So there's that's moving, but parallel to that is this affirmational sense where it's like, not only am I good at it, but people tell me that I'm good at it, and if I keep doing stuff, then people will keep telling me that I'm good at it. So like this affirmation and like approval of man piece was like was the running challenge clear up until, well into my marriage and when my kids were born. It's such that it would inflate my ego. So I was reflexively making stuff, and I wanted to glorify God. So I even as a high schooler, most of the stuff that I made had biblical themes. So like, as soon as I learned how to do lino cut, I was practicing a lot. I was just very curious. By God's grace, I had opportunities to, apply to contests and stuff like that. And I actually won an international contest when I was in high school with a piece kind of related around race relations, kind of trying to get at some of the history of, Black folks in the United States. And yeah, it won a international competition when I was in 11th grade. So started getting affirmation from that. So it's like pride hooked in with ability. And what I was largely articulating at the time was, you know, I went to a very, very, very black school. I'm mixed. I have my dad's black, my mom's white. And just from the context that I came from in public school, it's like that, you know, was like the stuff that you pointed to. It's like, oh, you're a maker. Why don't you talk about this? It was just the unspoken assumption that that's what you're gonna be making work about. So I tried to just stay in the let me make black stuff lane. And I just rode that and rode that even as I was experiencing tension with how that was being expressed as a primary source of identity. It's like, yeah, I felt like there was more to gain by talking about those things than by saying like maybe actually life like as a Christian is bigger than just whether I'm black or not.
The kids picked out
Me and my wife got married between my second and third year of college. I finished college in 3 years and I was 19 when we got married. Then you have the pressure cooker of we had 5 months later, we had my first son, James, coming. So now I need to provide. So I was still going for illustration at the time. This was my third year of school, my final year at that point. And I had to make a pivot because I had to provide for my family. So it was like, I was making these like jazz related, like these Lionel cuts of jazz artists. That's what I was kind of trying to press on. And that's what I was known for in school. And it's like, no, like God, I had to ask him, I have these people that I got to feed. I have a baby on the way. I have a wife. She's pregnant. I have to put food on the table, and I am not going to be able to do so by making these pictures, not like this. And so I just asked him, Lord, like, I know this is good. You are going to have to change my desires for me to do this. And he did. And the next day I applied to an internship, and I got the internship, which was at a brand design agency. I went to that internship and I did that work there. That eventually got me, you know, the other jobs that I've gotten that moved me into the software design world. I kept making artwork here and there. It slowed down after I got out of school, in part because I just needed to be able to provide for my family. But when I did make stuff, I was still trying to make it in a particular lane. And then I remember the George Floyd stuff popped off during COVID. And I was talking with my pastor. I was just like, I don't understand how to make sense of this because I feel like I have made too much of an identity out of being just ambiguously brown, especially when like I'm half black, half white. Like I've never fit comfortably into this societal category of monolithic black. That means this one thing, but it actually doesn't. And I got to the point where it's like, oh, wait a second, like I'm grabbing at black art as blackness as an identity because I think that it's going to give me some sort of affirmation before man. And it's like, it is in most ways the least consequential thing about me. Like the fact that I'm a child of God, the fact that I love Jesus, that's the most significant thing. And then there's the people that I'm around who's a mixed assortment of folks, like in my church, who are utterly dear to me, the people that I'm walking with day to day. So like, what would it look like if I was freed from the need to like make black art, whatever that means? And so I felt a weird deflation in terms of like, I don't feel the need to crank out as much artwork anymore. And simultaneously, I feel like I can make whatever I want to. I was able to receive progressive freedom from my sense of pride, my ego. I was able to lay it down and give it to the Lord and let it be what it needed to be, so that like the weird end result was that I made less, but the things that I made were more joyful. A couple summers ago, I had, I think, the biggest confrontation of my pride that I ever had, where I realized that like I had been roping my family. By this point, we had 3 kids, my 3 sons. I'd been roping my family along with my desires and the things that I wanted to do for my sake, for the sake of my looking good, for years. And I never realized how much I was flattening everyone else's desires, not realizing that the gifts that God gives you are not meant for you to make you look good. Your gifts are meant to be given. Your gifts that God gives you are meant for the building up of the church. They're meant for the building up the people around you. We don't get to keep our gifts unless we give them away. I did not have a sense of that. And God changed my heart very quickly to start focusing on how do I bless these people? Like, how do I give what I have for their good? How do I stop just caring about what I have going on and the things that will make me happy and the things that will make me look good? Like pointing to my gifts and talents as if it's like, hey, look at this crown on my head, not realizing that they're actually my crown. Like my wife is my crown, my children are my, as Paul says, my crown and my joy.
But yeah, I'm just trying to.
Everything that I'm doing at this point really is for the sake of building up my family. So whether that's, you know, homeschooling them or building a school for them to attend, or, you know, drawing with them or making music with them, or whatever I've been doing, it's largely been for the sake of my people and to build them up. And like, I've been excited to participate in the things that they have going on. So all the artistic inclinations of making images and, you know, behaving metaphorically and stuff like that with aesthetics, it's like, my wife's trying to make a garden right now. How do we step to that? Like, we, you know, just a wonder for the world that God has. So we got chickens and we got ducks, and like being able to do things like that, things that would have not been options on the table because they wouldn't have given us sort of affirmation previously, were things that we were able to start stepping to and that I was able to give them because of the way that God had reoriented my heart. So